Today's class is entitled Attitude of Gratitude, the Highest Power in Life. Attitude of Gratitude. Is it always easy to be grateful for every single thing? No, I don't think so, right? Is there someone that's grateful for every single thing that's ever happened in their whole life? Raise your hand, please. It's a project we work upon. Before that comes that old word forgiveness, self-love. There's so much that comes before we can just bow to that gratefulness. Well, what gratefulness does, at least in my own life, it is your launching pad, or it's your diving board, to then knowing that you really have one purpose in life, and that is to serve. The steps of getting to the gratefulness is quite big though, and for some of us it's many years of journeying through the density and through the dark of anger, of a non-forgiving heart, of self-hatred. So many things we got programmed when we were children. And then you go through that life cycle between 28 and 32. It's a Saturn return is what we call it. And it's a cycle where in the first 7 years, if you didn't learn the lessons of life, of God, you get them back again. Some of you aren't even 32, but some of you that are past can remember some of those could have been our hardest years. And then we start going through different life cycles. And in each life cycle, there's lessons. And some lessons are so hard and so unexpected and seemingly so unfair that often we fall into the victim, the pity parties, the poor me, why me, I'm the only one. And that's a big stage we go through. Some people die in that stage. They never get through that stage. Like, why me? But if you're able, through God's grace, to climb out of that kiva, that low density, to the light, then you start walking a path of consciousness. And in that consciousness, you come to forgive yourself, you come to forgive others. You come then to that acceptance and that love, and even, hard to believe, that ultimate love of that person that raped you, or that person that hurt you, that person that betrayed you, that person that let you down, whatever and however big it was. And then you really come to understand what Jesus said. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because the inherent nature of a human being is goodness. The inherent nature. I'm not talking about their patterning, their programming, but their inherent nature, because the soul, and we all have souls. You can't get back on planet Earth without a soul. So even though you may say, that person has no soul, everyone, you don't get back into a physical body without that soul. And that soul is undying. That soul is unborn. And that soul is self-illuminated. That soul is pure light. And that's who we all are. And that's who everyone you've ever met, including your parents, everyone you've been engaged with in life, they have the same essence as you do, as I do. And it's through grace that you're sitting here. And it's maybe through grace they're sitting in a bar right now, getting drunk. It's only grace. We have 5 sutras, or laws, that were given to us for the Aquarian age. One is recognize the other person as you. That's really tough, isn't it? The person's not me, there's no way. They are though. That's when we ultimately know that we are one with God. You can say, so here, I'm one with God. But are you one with the person next to either side and in front and back? No, I don't like them. I don't know, but I don't think I like them. Whatever it is, you know, it's an incredible time we're living in. We couldn't even have this discussion in the 50s. Did you know that? No one even thought or talked about such things as this. Because they didn't have the consciousness to even check out their consciousness. They didn't even know they had a consciousness. They didn't even know there was a possibility of change. It's an amazing time. It's the first time, maybe ever, or it's the first time in thousands and thousands and thousands of years that we have gathered like this. Did you know that? You may be used to going to your local yoga center, rolling out your mat, doing a class. You may be a teacher. It wasn't like this. In the 60s, no one knew the difference between yoga and yogurt. No one knew what yogurt was, no one knew what yogurt was. It's changed so much that you are so blessed to have reincarnated at this time to be given this chance to wake up. It wasn't even up for discussion when I was a child. You were the way you were and that was it. No room for change. Old George down the street is just a drunk, just hits the bottle, that's George. Somebody else, he's angry, always has been. She's depressed, always has been. No hope for change. No hope to get out of the kiva and climb up into consciousness. And then we had those beautiful souls come to the West, including Yogi Bhajan, including Muktananda, including Yogananda, now Amaji, now His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and other true ones, but not a lot of them. And you know what they are, at least for me? They come, they walk in, or you wait 8 hours to be hugged by Amaji, or His Holiness the Dalai Lama walks in, and you see the possibility of a human being. And you see yourself, because they are you, and you are me, and we're all together. And that's the distance we shall all walk until we can hug everybody. When people are waiting in line, Amaji doesn't look up and say, I don't want to hug him. I mean, God, you know. Or her, no way, she doesn't deserve it. No. Hugging, 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 loving. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he doesn't do a select audience. They're not ready, they're not ready, they're ready. No. And that's how we have to do it as we become teachers of yoga. To recognize that there is no difference between you and me. You're my teacher. I may have some technology and tools to give you, but you have so much to give me. We all have so much to give each other. And it's called just being a human. Human means light of the mind. And we're all in this thing together. And it's pretty neat. And it's pretty wonderful. And it's pretty challenging. It's pretty hard. I'm not here to paint a rosy picture that life is just rosy. It is rosy. But there's a lot of clouds. And how we can handle the clouds. It's one day at a time, one breath at a time. And joining together and helping each other and serving each other. I'll close before we begin with something Yogi Bhajan would always say. He would say, if you're depressed, which we all have experienced that, find someone more depressed than you and help them. If you're sick, find someone more sick than you. I even tell women or people going through chemo, find someone who has worse cancer than you and help them. Whatever it is, pick up the phone. You've got 2 arms. Hug someone. Say, I'm there for you. I believe in you. When you meet somebody, a friend, somebody new, always think of something, not phony, like, oh, your hair color looks good. Well, sometimes it does. But find something to uplift them. Don't just leave them without anything. There's always something so beautiful you can say to them or hug them. We need each other more than ever now. We cannot live separate. Our vibration, and it's got to go beyond Twitter. It's got to go beyond blogging. It has to, don't leave your human element out of it. Don't leave your hug and your eyes. We can never go without those. We can go forever on that big box called the computer. But we also need each other in person too. And we're all in person now. I'm not a screen, and you're not a screen. We're all here breathing and being together. So I think today we can have a lot of fun. Is that good? Yeah. So that we can maybe have a collective experience of gratefulness. We have 3 basic beliefs. They're kind of easy, actually, to understand. Not necessarily to always do. Get up before the sun comes up so you can just thank God for the new day. Share. Work hard. So basic. That's it. Part of your sadhana or early morning practice can be yoga, can be meditation, can be behind your head and saying thank you. You do those 3 things and I'm telling you, whole life changes. Rise before the sun comes up. Work hard. And physically hard is really good to work. And share. You'll be happy. It's not that complicated. Shall we do it today? Put your hands together, please, and thank you. I'm so grateful.